Job chapter 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. Now that man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and his possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 female donkeys, and a very large household. That man was the greatest of all the people of the East. Now it was customary for his sons to hold a banquet, each on his own day in his own house. They would send to invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When the round of banquet days was completed, Job would send for them and consecrate them. He would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "Perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus Job did every day. One day the sons of God came to present themselves before Adonai, and Satan also came with them. Adonai said to the Satan, "Where have you come from?" The Satan responded to Adonai and said, "From roaming the earth and from walking on it." Adonai said to the Satan, "Did you notice my servant Job? There is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and spurns evil." Then the Satan responded to Adonai, saying, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, his household, and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will certainly curse you to your face." Then Adonai said to Satan, "Everything he has is in your hands, only do not extend your hand against him." So the Satan departed from the presence of Adonai. One day, when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job, saying, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing near them, when the Sabaeans attacked and carried them off. They also killed the servants with the edge of the sword. I alone escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another came in and said, "The fire of God has fallen from heaven and has burned up the sheep and servants. It has consumed them, and I alone escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another came in and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and raided the camels and took them all away. They also killed the servants with the edge of the sword, and only I alone escaped to tell you." While this one was still speaking, another came in and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine at their oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind came from beyond the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it collapsed on the young people and they died, and only I alone escaped to tell you." Then Job got up, tore his robe, shaved his head, fell to the ground, and worshipped. Then he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return there. Adonai gave, and Adonai has taken away. Blessed be the name of Adonai." Through all this, Job did not sin, nor did he cast reproach on God. Chapter 2. Again, the next day came when the sons of God came to present themselves before Adonai, and the Satan also arrived among them to present himself before Adonai. Adonai said to him, "Where are you coming from?" The Satan answered Adonai, "From roaming the earth and from walking on it." Then Adonai said to Satan, "Have you noticed my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and spurns evil. And he still holds firmly to his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason." The Satan replied to Adonai, saying, "Skin for skin, a man will give up all he has for his own life. But now stretch out your hand and strike his bone and his flesh, and he will certainly curse you to your face." Adonai said to the Satan, "Very well, he is in your hand, only spare his life." So the Satan departed from the presence of Adonai and afflicted Job with painful boils from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. He took a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself while he was sitting among the ashes. Then his wife said to him, "Are you still holding firmly to your integrity? Curse God and die." He said to her, "You speak as a foolish woman would speak. Should we accept the good from God and not accept the bad?" Through all this, Job did not sin with his lips. When Job's 3 friends heard about all this calamity, that had come upon him. Each of them came from his own place: Eliphaz and Temanite, Bildad and Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. They met together to come and mourn with him and to comfort him. But when they saw him from a distance, they did not recognize him, and they raised their voices and wept. Each one tore his robes and threw dust in the air unto their heads. Then they sat with him on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights. No one spoke a word to him, because they saw that his pain was very great. Chapter 3. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed his day. When Job answered and said, May the day I was born perish, and the night that said a man is conceived. That day may it be darkness. May God above not regard it. May no light shine on it. May darkness and deep gloom reclaim it. May a cloud settle over it. May whatever blackens the day terrify it. That night may thick darkness seize it. May it not be included among the days of the year, nor be entered among the number of months. Indeed, may that night be barren. May no joyful shout enter it. May those who curse the day, those ready to awaken Leviathan. May its morning stars be darkened. May it hope for light, but have none. May it never see the eyelids of dawn, for it did not shut the doors of the womb on me, nor did it hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth and expire as I exited the womb? Why did the knees welcome me when breast that I might nurse? For now I would be lying down and quiet. I would be asleep and at rest with kings and counselors of the earth, who built for themselves places now desolate, with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden like a stillborn, like infants who never saw light? There the wicked cease from turmoil, and there the weary are at rest. Prisoners are at ease together. They do not hear the voice of the taskmaster. Small and great are there, and slave is free from his master. Why is light given to one who suffers, and life to the bitter of soul? To those who long for death, but it does not come, and who dig for it more than for hidden treasures, who are filled with gladness and rejoice when finding the grave. Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden, and whom God has hedged in? For my sighing comes instead of my bread, and my groans pour out like water. For the things I dreaded has come upon me, and what I feared has happened to me. I have no ease, no quietness. I have no rest, but turmoil came. Chapter 4. Then Eliphaz the Temanite responded and said, If one attempts a word with you, will you become impatient? But who can keep from speaking? Behold, you have instructed many, you have strengthened weak hands. Your words have supported those who stumbled, and strengthened buckling knees. Yet now it has come to you, and you are discouraged. It strikes you, and you are dismayed. Is not your piety your confidence, and your integrity of your ways your hope? Reflect now, who, being innocent, ever perished, and where were the upright destroyed? As I have seen those who plow iniquity and sow harm reap them. By the breath of God they perish, and by the blast of his anger they vanish. The lion may roar and the cub growl, but the teeth of young lions are broken. The mighty lion perishes for lack of prey, and the lioness cubs are scattered. Now a word was secretly brought to me, and my ear caught a whisper of it, amid unsettling visions in the night. When a deep sleep falls on men, dread and trembling seized me, and made my bones shake. Then a spirit brushed over my face, and the hair of my flesh stood on end. It stood still, but I could not recognize its appearance. A form was before my eyes, and I heard a murmur, a voice. Can a mortal be righteous before God, for a man pure before his Creator? If he puts no trust in his servants and accuses his angels of error, how much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed before the moth? From morning until evening they are beaten into pieces. Unnoticed they perish forever. Is not their tent cord pulled out so that they die without wisdom? Chapter 5. Cry now, will anyone answer you? To which of the holy ones will you return? Will you turn? For resentment kills a fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen a fool taking root, but suddenly I cursed his dwelling. His sons are far from safety and crushed at the gate without a deliverer. The hungry consumes his harvest, taking it even from among thorns, and the thirsty pants after their wealth. For evil does not come after the dust, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. Yet man is born for trouble, as surely as sparks fly upward. But as for me, I would seek God. I would lay my cause before God, who does great things beyond comprehension, wonders without number, who gives rain to the earth and sends water over the plains, who places the lowly on high and lifts mourners to salvation, who frustrates the plan of the crafty so that their hands attain no success, who catches the clever in their craftiness and thwarts the plan of the cunning. By day they encounter darkness and grope at noon as if it were night. But he saves the needy from the sword of their mouth and from the clutches of the mighty. So the helpless have hope, and injustice shuts its mouth. Behold, happy is the one whom God corrects, so do not despise the discipline of Shaddai, for he inflicts pain, but he also binds up. He injures, yet his hands also heal. From 6 calamities he will deliver you, even in 7 no harm will touch you. In famine he will redeem you from death, and in war from the power of the sword. You will be hidden from the lashes of the tongue, and not fear when violence comes. You will laugh at violence and famine, and will not fear the beasts of the earth. For you will have a covenant with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field will be at peace with you. You will know shalom in your tent, and you will take stock of your home and find nothing missing. You will know that your descendants will be numerous, your offspring like the grass of the earth. You will come to the grave in vigor, like sheaves of grain in its season. Behold, we have investigated this. It is true. Hear it and apply it to yourself. Chapter 6. Job responded and said, If only my grief could be weighed and my calamity placed on the scales. For if outweighs the sands of the sea, that is why my words have been rash. For the arrows of Shaddai are in me, my spirit drinks in their poison. God's terrors line up against me. Does a wild donkey bray over fresh grass, or an ox bellow over his fodder? Is something bland eaten without salt? Is there a taste in the white of an egg? My soul refuses to touch them. They are like sickening food to me. Oh, that my request would be realized, that God would grant my hope, that God would be willing to crush me, to release his hand and cut me off, when I would still be comforted, even rejoice in spite of the unrelenting pain, for I have not denied the words of the Holy One. What is my strength, that I should hope? What is my end, that I should endure? Is my strength the strength of rock? Is my flesh bronze? Is there no help within me? Has not success been banished from me? A despairing person should have the kindness of his friend, even if he forsakes the fear of Adonai. My brothers have acted deceptively as a seasonal stream, as a torrential stream that overflows when darkened by thawing ice and obscured by snow. But when they are scorched, they dry up, and in the heat they vanish from their place. Caravans turn aside from their course. They go up into the wasteland and perish. The caravans of Tema looked intently, and the travelers of Sheba hoped for them. They were distressed because they had been confident. They came so far and were disappointed. Indeed, now you have become nothing. You see a terror and are afraid. Have I ever said, Give to me, or pay a bribe for me from your wealth, or save me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the ruthless hand? Teach me, and I will be silent. Explain to me how I've been wrong. Honest words are painful, but what does your arguing prove? Do you intend to correct my words and thread the words of a despairing man as wind? Would you cast lots for an orphan and barter over your friend? Now be so kind as to look at me. I will not lie to your face. Relent, do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my righteousness is in it. Is injustice on my tongue? Can my palate not discern evil? Does not man have hard labor on earth? Are not his days like those of a hired laborer, like a slave longing for the shadow, or a hired man waiting for his pay? So I have inherited months of futility. The nights of distress have been appointed to me. When I lay down, I say, when will I rise? The night drags on, and I toss under the day dawns. My flesh is clothed with maggots and clods of dirt. My skin is broken and festering. The days fly faster than a weaver's shuttle and come to an end without hope. Remember, my life is but a breath. My eyes will not see goodness again. The eye that sees me now will see me no more. Your eyes will be on me, but I will be no more. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, so one descending into Sheol does not come up. He will never return to his house. His place does not know him. So I will not keep silent. I will speak in the distress of my spirit. I will complain in bitterness of soul. Am I a sea or a monster of the deep that I have set a watch over me? When I say, my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that my soul prefers strangulation and my bones death. I despise it. I will not live forever. Leave me alone, for my days are a vapor. What is mankind that you magnify him, that you set your heart on him, that you visit him every morning and test him in every moment? Will you never look away from me, or let me alone until I swallow my spittle? Have I sinned that I have done to you? What have I done to you, O watcher of men? Why have you set me as your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down in the dust, and you will search for me, but I will be gone.